So for the machine, I needed to make a little roller cover, basically, and I couldn't find any. Think like pull down, let go roller blinds, but little. Industrial ones exist, they'll custom make them with a lead time, and it's expensive, and so forth. So instead, I'm modding an IKEA one, and making it way more industrial in the process. So this is a cut down pipe from one of the IKEA ones, and I've just turned down the ends a little bit to fit some bearings. And the way they work is one end of the spring is attached to the barrel, and the other end is attached to the rod. The rod is fixed, and the barrel is able to spin freely on bearings. So you wind that up, and let go, and it springs back. And that way, on the machine, you can have, roller blinds. This does pose an interesting problem, though, as the spring is rather long. And this is a type of spring that can't just be bent into another shape, it just fractures. But I have a magic trick up my sleeve, and that's an oxy-hydrogen torch. So this is a fairly cheap thing from China, but what it is basically an electrolysis cell that splits water into hydrogen and oxygen and produces an itty-bitty torch that is insanely hot. So it's 3,300 degrees C or 6,000 Fahrenheit. As you can see, it's teeny tiny, but that means you can have a very controlled, tiny amount of heat in a very specific area. So I'm just going to start above where I want to be, which is the black line, and just stretch out some of the spring. So I'm going to heat soften just this bit of spring and let it uncoil, and now it won't fracture. And then I can even cut it off. It's hot enough to melt steel, and set fire to it. So I'll do the rest of this off camera, but what I've done on the previous bit is essentially cut one of the springs down, bend a loop out through a little 3D printed thing that has notches that match the ribs in the pipe. So yeah, overall it's three 3D printed parts, 2 skateboard bearings, and some little aluminium blocks, and I have one equivalent of an industrial roller blind.